Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Northern Deck. Let's talk about the recent convention of the Conservative Party of Canada. Because if this was meant to show Canadians they're ready to govern, it did the complete opposite. What it showed instead was a party deeply committed to looking united without actually agreeing on where it's going. And yes, delegates overwhelmingly endorsed Poilievre in a leadership review. Around 87% supported. But context does matter. This is the same leader who just lost the federal election, lost momentum, and awkwardly lost his very own seat. So when they call this unity, it feels less like confidence and more like denial. It's like repainting a car that just broke down and calling it road ready. Because once you get past the applause, you realize something very important. There was no real strategy reset with the Conservative Party. Poilievre's message again and was mostly about blaming liberals. Everything wrong in the country, it's liberals. Inflation, liberals. Housing, liberals. Your coffee being cold in the morning, it's probably Trudeau's fault. But yelling the other guys are bad is not a governing plan. It's a coping mechanism. If attacking the Liberals automatically translated into electoral wins, the Conservatives would have been in power years ago. At some point, voters want to know what you'd actually do differently, not just who you are mad at. Then we get to the policy resolutions, which somehow managed to be loud and irrelevant at the same time. Delegates pushed ideas like so-called Castle Law, ending CBC funding, and doubling down against harm reduction approaches to drug policy. All while Canadians are begging politicians to focus on affordability. Things are very expensive. On housing costs are high. On healthcare, access to healthcare it's hard. And jobs, the job market is difficult. It felt like a policy bake sale where everyone showed up with a stale piece of bread and instead tried to convince us that it was delicacy. And notice what didn't happen. Some of the party's most controversial social conservative ideas didn't even make it to a vote. Not because they suddenly became progressive, but because even the party couldn't agree on how far to go. So the result is this weird middle space, too extreme for swing voters, too cautious for the loudest parts of their base. That's not balance, that's paralysis. And this leads to the biggest issue, strategy, or rather the lack thereof. What we saw wasn't a plan to grow a tent or grow the tent, it was a plan to entertain the people already inside that tent. Political analysts keep pointing out the same problem. Poilievre polls well with Conservatives, but his favorability outside that is very weak. That means the party is playing a dangerous game, winning internal applause while losing the broader audience. Politics isn't crowd-pleasing bingo. You don't win elections by checking off base talking points and hoping undecided voters magically come around. What makes all of this more striking is the contrast. While Conservatives are recycling culture, war fights, someone like Mark Carney, who isn't even a career politician, polls better nationally than their actual leader. That should have triggered some serious self-reflection. But instead, the convention felt like showing up to a chess tournament with a Monopoly board and insisting you're playing four-dimensional strategy. So yes, the Conservatives looked united, but unity without direction is just a group walking in circles. And right now, the party doesn't look ready to govern. It looks ready to complain louder, repeat itself, and hope Canadians confuse noise with leadership. That's not strategy, that's nostalgia, dressed up as confidence. And I'll close with this. You can't win the country if you're only talking to your own section of the room. Please like and subscribe to my page. All my handles are listed in the comment section.